Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Elden Ring complete playthrough. My name is Sir Cowdog. This is episode 9, and we are going to descend into the lost city of Nokron. I'll be honest, Nokron doesn't have really a lot to challenge us, outside of a couple of exceptions. There is a red wolf, and there is twin gargoyles, which I will be showing you how to beat. Currently level 66, probably roughly level 70, 75, somewhere in there by the time we're done. Main hand staff, Academy Glintstone, the Staff of Loss, Queen's Crescent Crown for the +3 intelligence. Everything else is fashion and armor value. Radagon Icon, increased spellcasting speed, Scorpion Charm, and Graven School Talisman. Currently rocking 4 heals and 7 mana replacing potions. Our Wondrous Physic is the default intelligence and magic damage. We have 30 rune arcs, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so the entrance to Nokron is in Limgrave, right here in this giant crater, as you can see. This is only available after you have already defeated Star Scourge Radon at the Radon Festival. If you've been following along, you will have seen how to fight all of that stuff and to reach this point. So, let's just get to it. Like I said, not really a lot to say. Some basic minions are down in here. We have a message from Fake Blythe. I'm not sure who the trader he's referring to is. Probably Darrowil, but who knows? It's a little bit out of place. You can fall down to your death here, so be very careful along the way. There are a couple of drops, nothing too dangerous. As I said, enemies are basic minions, guys with bows, guys with melee weapons, etc., etc. Our build is really, really strong at this point in the game, so you should not be challenged by anything down here. At least not until we get to that red wolf. Okay, a lot of parkour, not a lot else. No real enemies, no secrets to find. Again, your main weakness here, or threat, is going to be gravity. There are a couple of sites of grace along the way, more than enough. Our first tricky jump is right here. As you can see, there's an item over there on the right. The way you get that, it looks like this platform is a little bit too far to jump to, but you're just going to sprint forward, do a turn, and then immediately jump. Should have more than enough space. Watch the second gap there. You do need to jump over that. Now, all throughout this area, there's a bunch of items that look like chests. They are not. They're just breakable items. The only real chest you're going to get to is a little bit later on, down in the Nokron city proper. So we have these slimes. They will try to melee you with spikes. They will also occasionally shoot spears at you. See if I can show you one of those here in a little bit. One of these should take a swing at me. Here we go. Let's go, buddy. Figure it out. Yep, there we go. So they basically are spear throwers. It looks like there's a stab like that. As you can see, even when I got hit, really not enough damage to be concerned about. Shot in the back. Now, these things can be dangerous if there are groups of them. If there are, 6 or 7 all shooting at the same time with a barrage, that could be a little bit annoying. But again, there are enough sites of grace stacked up close by each other that this is not really an issue. Alright, a little bit more parkour. Got some items hidden away back here. Smithing stones. For the most part, we are only going to be using the Academy Glintstone staff for a handful of levels. Once we reach that 60 intelligence, we'll swap over to the Carrion Regal Scepter. That'll be our next jump in power. Now, to be fair, The Regal Scepter uses Somber Stones, and the Academy Glintstone uses regular stones, so there may be some crossover for which one is more powerful at any given time. The choke point for Somber Stones, of course, is the Somber Stone 7, which is not available until either Volcano Manor or the Leyendell sewers inside the capital. So we're going to have quite a few levels to go before we reach that +7. The good news is once I hit that Somberstone 7 mark, I can immediately also upgrade to level 8 and level 9. And so the power level on that staff will jump up significantly at that point. Okay, most of this area here down in Nokron proper is pretty much ignorable. There are a lot of minions, a lot of trash mobs, crafting materials, a couple of small items to pick up, but if you want to speedrun through this, you definitely can. But I'm going to go ahead and get everything here. Now, these guys with the tower shields, they can block most of your damage if you attack them from the front. So just wait until they start their animation to smash their shield, and then run behind them and chop them in the back. On a lore front, these zombie-looking dudes are a lost legion to investigate Nokron. I can't remember the specifics, but it's something to do with the inverted hawk shield, if you wanted to look into that. These guys have been down here so long, they have lost all sense of humanity. They're definitely weird looking. And they do flail around a lot, so try not to get hit by that. I probably should be leveling up Vigor a little bit more. Okay, that was the bell bearing to buy Spirit Summon upgrade materials. Can't remember which level. Reasonably valuable if you are using spirits for your playthrough. A couple more items to go. Our next boss is going to be the Mimic tier, which will copy whatever your build and loadout and stats currently are. Keeping in mind that anytime an NPC is attacking, they do not have any limit on their stamina or their FP. And that might seem really dangerous as a spellcasting build. It's actually not. You'll see why. When you go to fight it, it is actually surprisingly easy. The NPCs do not react to Night Comet because they can't see it inside of the lore. However, as a player, when somebody shoots a Night Comet at you, it's very easy to see, so very easy to dodge. Now, if I had more dangerous spells equipped, Stars of Ruin or something like that, or Comet Azure, maybe this would be a more dangerous fight, but as it stands, really not a big deal. Yeah, Great Shield Soldier Ashes. This is one of your best spirit summons to use. Summons 4 dudes with tower shields who spend a lot of time blocking. They are the perfect distraction for bosses. Certain enemies that do lots of AoE and elemental damage, they're not quite as good with, but for almost every boss, they are a very, very superior choice. Okay, Nox Priestesses. Long range, not very high damage, and relatively weak. Oh, and running out of spell points. Occasionally, these enemies will drop their armor set, which is really, really nice fashion for any kind of spellcaster build. Alright, a couple more materials. Watch out directly above this item. There are some enemies that will drop on your head. Couple more items over here. And one last rune arc before the boss fight. and it's slightly hidden right here past this drop. There we go. Number 31. Okay, no need to really buff up for this fight. As you'll see, it is over reasonably quickly. You can cheese this Mimic Tier fight by unequipping your weapons before you have it turn into copy you. Completely unnecessary. You can also, if you're very, very good, you can throw a fire pot so that it lands on the boss before it converts and kill it instantly. Once again, really just not necessary. Already at half health. And there we go. Silver Tier Mask is an impressive, I believe, 8 arcane. Yep, from 9 to 17. If you're doing an incantation build, very, very good. Just to keep in mind, it does come with a 5% penalty on all physical damage output, so things like Stone of Garank or Bestial Sling will suffer very, very slightly, but will be more than made up for by the additional arcane if you are using the Dragon Communion Sacred Seal. Alright, now that we're past that area, we can use the horse. We are into the Spirit Horn hunting grounds. This is the area directly above the Shifra River lower area that we already cleared. This is where we talked to Blythe earlier. You cannot reach this area without coming through Nokron, at least not that I'm aware of. Although you can jump down from here to the lower level area. And there's a couple of spots where that will be a good idea because there's some items to get. Similar to the lower level, this spot has the same mechanic to access the boss. That's activating, I believe it's 6 or 8 of these beacons, just like last time. I'll go ahead and mark those as I activate them. There's one here. I believe there's another one just around the corner. Our first site of grace in the area is just up behind this singing shaman lady. I turn down the volume on my speaker very quickly. Don't get any overlap. From this side of grace, you can head down into Nokron proper. That's this area over here, and I'll do that in just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and clear out the Spirit Horn grounds first and fight the boss, which is a higher level version of the ancestral spirit we fought earlier down below. And as you can see, lots of ground effects. Kind of annoying, but just jump over if you need to. Also, do not get ambushed by these guys. They do many, several hit combos that will do significant damage to you with your light armor. And low hit points. Lots of hyper armor. Difficult to interrupt, but as long as you fight them at a distance, really not a problem at all. Okay, here's our first real challenge, and that is the Red Wolf. Doesn't do anything different from any other Red Wolf. It does not have a sword in its mouth like the Red Wolf of Radagon. I do recommend you take out the regular wolves first. Ooh, 3 with 1 shot. Nice. Because there are so many sites of grace nearby, I do recommend you use your Wondrous Physic for this. Lots of open space means you should not have any problem dodging. Standard tactics are to dodge the first attack and the second attack, wait for the fake. As you can see, this is very much glass cannon fight. double dodge on that combo. Go for the kill, maybe? Nope. One more should do it. Go. And good to go. Now you can also fight that guy with Carrion Slicer, of course. I do not recommend Carrion Piercer for this. It is sometimes useful to have slightly longer reach, but the opportunities to actually hit the Red Wolf in melee range is a lot lower than simply just shooting with Night Comet. You do need to fight this guy because he will attack you while you are attempting to light this beacon. You could potentially get away with not fighting. I guess you could just run away the entire time. It's not a hard requirement, but it is probably a good idea. Even though he doesn't actually drop anything. Alright, we can take out all of these rats and these two singing ladies. And then we'll have a little bit of parkour. Runsoft definitely seems to enjoy its platforming. Oh, a couple more rats. Always forget that there's a couple more there. Okay, this little area here, you can die instantly if you fall in the water. Do be a little bit careful. Your spot to jump over is right here. And you can then safely drop down. Now, it does look as though you should be able to maybe double jump up onto this area. You actually cannot. It's a little bit too high. The way you get over there is this ramp right here. And be careful to jump up onto this mossy area with a little bit of angle. If you try to do it directly at 90 degrees, chances are you're going to jump over, fall in the water, and die. So, a little bit of, nope. These platforming sections are intentionally designed to be a little irritating, specifically to try to make you die by falling. But once you're up here, you're good to go. Watch the gap there. There's a second gap right here against the wall. But then you can safely drop down. Okay. And this will give you the item that will let you spam that blue crap on the ground that all of those shamans have been using on you. Now, you can run back the way you came. There is a way to jump back. I find that it's just easier to simply go back to the site of grace. It does involve killing a couple more of the caveman types as they reset, but really not a big deal. More runes is always better. Alright. Watch out for the archers. Fortunately, these guys, even though they do shoot pretty accurately, they are not the super snipers from earlier. Now, this lady right here, on the first time you kill her, will always drop the headdress. If you are looking for some druid type fashion, that's one way to go. Alright, what is that? Number 5. I believe there's one more right here. There's also a little bit more platforming. If you go up around this way, you can get on top of the structure here. There's a talisman. I believe it's a resistance talisman. Do be careful not to fall off. This is fatal falling damage, if I remember right. Nope. then our last pillar is... where is it? Over here somewhere. For archers. The good news is there are many groups to kill here that will give you refills on your potions, so you can be pretty liberal with your hit point and magic point potion use. And where is... there it is, right there. I believe this should be the last one. Give us the message. Yep, power gathers somewhere in the Horn Ruins. So that indicates that the boss is unlocked, and it's right here in this area. We've got a couple more things to do before we go ahead and fight that boss. There's a talisman down here, and at the ends of these walkways, there are some smithing stone upgrade materials. Let's go get those. You can drop down safely right here. Alright, so one here. I believe that spot over there is empty. The other place we want to go is down here on... oh. Again, be very careful when you're dropping down here. You're aiming for the wall. Probably best to aim for that green moss right in front of Torrent's head. Like that. More smithing stones, and I believe this is the other talisman, clarifying horn charm. So we're not quite done. I'm going to head around the corner here. Smithing stone 5. And I believe that is everything. Yeah, so you can't get over there, unfortunately. Alright, so now we're going to go fight the boss. Pretty similar to the last Ancestral Spirit. The main difference is that this one has additional abilities. If it survives long enough, it can occasionally absorb the special attack of various animals throughout its area. So, for instance, if it absorbs a pig, it will do more of a charge attack. If it absorbs an elk, it will do swings with its horns. A rabbit will make it jump around a lot more. Really, it's... for us, it doesn't really matter that much. We're just going to shoot it a lot with Night Comet and pretty much just take it out. So the main thing you have to watch out for is occasionally at point blank range. The boss will do this animation where it absorbs all the energy around it, including your hit points if you're too close. This can do significant damage while also healing the boss. So just be aware of that. So it's going to die. It's going to show up somewhere else, usually further away. So it looks like it's absorbed an elk. So it does more of a smash attack. There's that energy absorbing. You can see its health is recovering. Pretty much you just have to power through it. As far as I can tell, I have not been able to figure out a way to interrupt it, short of a full-on stance break. There we go. Now, the nice part is with this remembrance, you can trade it in for a talisman that will give you the same effect as the sacrificial axe. So if you have been having issues with your FP efficiency, you can come here into the round table, talk to the old lady, and trade it in for the Ancestral Spirit Horn. Restores FP upon any time enemies nearby end up being killed. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it, even though I don't really need it. And then level up a little bit. Oop. Up. Couple more points in hit points, intelligence. Seems like we're doing pretty good on mind and endurance, so let's go all the way to 70. Call it good. Alright. Back to Nokron. Now, Nokron is mostly parkour. There is no boss down here to fight. It's just navigating through the rooftops. Now, a special note here. You will get the Finger Slayer blade at the end, or Ronnie. You cannot use the horse. As you can see, it automatically dismounted me. If you have not yet obtained the Magic Scorpion Charm, make sure that you do that first before you give the Finger Slayer blade to Ronnie. The moment you do give the blade to Ronnie, her quest will advance. Celovus will be killed, and you will be then unable to get the Magic Scorpion Charm from that playthrough. So make very, very certain that you have that first before proceeding. So, Mimic Tears come in two forms. Dudes with clubs, I'm sorry, three forms. People with clubs, people with crossbows, and occasionally there will be one with a larger weapon, like a Zweihander or something. But these guys are not at all dangerous. All right. So ultimately our target is down there underneath that throne with that giant person who no one has yet been able to discover who or what they actually are. It's one of the great mysteries of Elden Ring lore. Most people tend to think that they are failed attempts at a Lord of Night. The Black Wet Blade, this lets you turn your Ashes of War to the occult or blood affinities. I think it also covers poison, although I don't know that anybody really uses poison for anything. And most importantly, inside this doorway, we have the Mimic Tear Spirit Summon. This is a Spirit Summon which will copy your existing loadout. It can be very, very important. You can customize it to tank for you. You can set it up with supporting spells like heals. You can also give it consumable items, I believe, in these slots, which it will use. This can be important for consumables that have a limited supply, like sleep pots, for example. Lots of different ways you can use it. It's up to you, I guess, to go onto the internet and figure out which one of those you like best. A lot of people, especially with bleed builds, will have it just double the bleed damage equipment that person is using, and be very, very effective at just wrecking bosses that are weak to bleed. Alright, we have more larval tears. This is your spot to get silver tear husks if you need these for any of your crafting recipes. Got one more priestess right here. Tried to aura farm on me, but your dagger is, you brought a knife to a gunfight, lady. Don't know what to tell you. Site of Grace should be right there. Now, some of these silver slimes will turn into mimics. The final one turns into a giant troll. You can, if you are very, very careful, nuke every single one of these before it even has a chance to turn into anything. Not that what it turns into is difficult, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and let this last guy do his animation. Camera lock freaked out a little bit there. And there we go. There is a return teleporter, which will take you basically back to the site of Grace just outside of Nokron. So be careful to get the Fingerslayer Blade before you activate this portal here. Okay, so now that we've got that dagger, we are going to go back to Ronnie. Oh, that's right. I had forgot that we have the we have the plan from Celavis. If you want to do that, you can. She will get angry at you if you give her the Amber Draught. You will, I believe, need to use a Celestial Dew to remove that aggro before being able to continue. So make sure you do not give that to her.
Ah, it was thee, not Blythe. Even in my slumber I sensed it is in thy possession, is it not? My thanks. Soon must I begin my journey. Ah, but before I leave, I must entrust thee with this. Take it.
So she gives you the Carrion Inverted Statue, which will allow you to access the other part of the Carrion Study Hall, which at the top has the +5 Intelligence Talisman, which is very useful for a build. Also, it has the second half of the Scorpion Mark, Curse Mark of Death, which will allow us to advance on Fia's quest.
Thy purpose in approaching you may leave now. I too am to depart.
Alright. Go to fast travel. We'll advance all these quests. Celavis, as I mentioned, will be dead at this point, so we're going to go get his equipment. Rena's Rise will be unlocked at this point, so we can also obtain the items in there as well, one of which is Ronnie's robe and hat. So if you're using cold spells, Ronnie's hat will give you, I believe, 2 or 3% increase to the damage on those, on top of being an absolutely massive hat. So, I believe Celavis's hat is going to be giving us 3 points of mind. Preceptor's big hat, on top of looking very silly. Everything else is pure fashion. I wonder if we can get down to light equipment load. Nope, I'm still at medium. So, back to the heavy armor. Okay, Rena's Rise. Now, there is a portal at the top of Renna's Rise, which will take you to Ainsel River, Maine. This is the other part of Ainsel River, which eventually leads to the Lake of Rot. It is its own area, and I will be doing a separate video for that. Just be aware, this is where the portal at the top of this tower will take you. Very easy to miss is the chest right here behind you. Has the Ronnie gear set in it. As I mentioned, massively giant hat. None of the other armor pieces do anything except operate as fashion. They do not give any bonuses to spells. So do not go through this portal yet. It doesn't actually affect anything. Just be aware that there's not a site of grace until just a couple of feet inside. So last things last, let's go ahead and take care of the Valiant Gargoyles, which are hard to see on the map, but they're up over here in this area. Now, it's important to note that the Valiant Gargoyles are, as far as the community is concerned, last time I asked, roughly a level 90 fight. Sorcery does reasonably well against them, gets around a lot of the difficulties with the Gargoyles. So we have a slight advantage here in regards to other builds. However, that being said, we are going in 20 levels under, which is pretty significant. The main problem with the Gargoyles is that, of course, they are immune to all status effects. So if you have been relying on a bleed build or a cold build up until this point, just keep in mind those effects do not work on the Gargoyles. On top of that, Slash absolutely sucks versus these guys. You want strike weapons like hammers or maces. Standard weapons and piercing weapons are neutral, and most types of elemental damage do not work very well against them. They are also considered a gank fight, which means there are two of them. Now, the good news is that the first one will stay a solo 1 versus 1 fight up until it reaches 50% hit points, at which point you can then deal with the second one. The main strategy is that you want to take out the first one before the second one really becomes dangerous. If you cannot do this, it means that your build or your playstyle is not quite prepared to fight the Gargoyles. This is a gatekeeper fight, very similar in a lot of ways to Margit. If you have not learned how to fight Gargoyles or don't have a good build, then you should leave and come back afterwards. Gargoyles do lots of very large AoE attacks and spit poison on the ground. Let's see if we can get this guy to fly off. Nope. A lot of people say that they have a hard time seeing the poison. I'm not sure if this is a graphics issue or a TV issue or what it is, but it's definitely been a problem that people have mentioned many, many times. Other than that, fighting both at the same time is difficult. You want to avoid fighting two at once anytime you can. So the strategy you probably want to adopt is to pop all of your buffs, summon your spirit. D is available to help with the fight as well. You want to burn down the first boss as fast as possible. Again, if you can't do that, then that means you're not ready. That is not a flaw with the boss. That means that you are not ready. I take a very, very different standpoint on this boss than most people. I'm pretty much all in on it being the player's fault if they are not good enough or not ready to fight the boss. This is not a fault with the boss design just because you can't handle it. I know that's unpopular, but having played this game as many times as I have, and having learned lots of different mechanics, that's just my opinion. Disagree if you want, no big deal. There's not really a wrong answer. FromSoft games are not perfect by any means, and putting bosses in the game that are immune to most damage types is kind of a dick move, so that's all I will say on that. Okay, so we have both Crucible Knights done. There's a couple more soldiers along the way, some loot to pick up. Once I've cleared all of this, I'll head back to the Grace. Fortunately, the Crucible Knights, once defeated, stay permanently dead. They are not an enemy that respawns. That would be a little bit annoying. Let's see, a couple more things over here, if I remember right. Item over there, and Scarab. Oh, I ran out of spell points. That's okay. Golden Rune 13. Unlucky. And half that at 7, roughly. Okay. A couple more items here on the other side of the waterfall. Mistimed my dodge a little bit there. Okay, be very, very careful here. Do not attack this NPC. This is Dee's brother. And you will, in order to progress this quest, you will give up Dee's armor set. Hopefully you do not need that at this point. You will eventually get it back at the end of the quest. I believe by giving him the armor, you will also unlock the summon sign right here. Beholder of Death instead of whatever the previous title was. Now, do not progress in here any further because this is the boss fight. Make sure you head back to the site of Grace. You reset all your potions. Alright, a little bit of a longer run back than normal for a boss. Nothing too bad, though. No enemies along the way. The only risk is, of course, your dismount onto this walkway. Occasionally, when you get off of Torrent, you'll go off the left side of the horse, which if you're too close to the edge, you can actually dismount yourself directly into a fall to your death. So maybe dismount before doing the jump. Main strategy here, of course, is just going to be to spam Night Comet at the boss. If you are struggling to kill this guy with this build, your best bet is probably to set up the Mimic tier with just Night Comet. That way it will effectively double your spell power output. Keep in mind, though, that the Mimic does not use your Wondrous Physics, so its damage will be lower than yours, but the additional firepower should help significantly. If you are doing a melee build, and you've been following with this walkthrough, I recommend highly that you do not try this boss fight at level 70. Come back later, go do Altus and Gelmir, be level 90 or 95 or something. Get the Giant Crusher or the Great Mace, level it up. Gargoyles are very weak to strike damage. Gargoyles are very large. They do lots of AoE attacks. They can do lots of combos that will hurt a lot if you get hit by them. Fortunately, their melee attacks are relatively short range to them. Their ranged attacks are limited to their poison spam, which has a very long windup. Make sure that you have your neutralizing boluses ready to go. Unfortunately, the poison will also do hit point damage in addition to poison, so you may want to set your physic to regeneration if you're doing a melee build to counteract that effect, but otherwise, this is a DPS race. Damage needs to be high in order to kill that first one before the second one flies down out of the waterfall at 50%. So let's go ahead and get this rolling. He's going to land right in the middle of the waterway here. If you're using lightning, you will do bonus damage. And he's going to do that. It does have a bit of a travel time, so wait till the last second to dodge. Our damage is very good. And as you can see, I took a significant hit there. Second one is going to pop in. There's that health bar. And he's already attacking me, which is unfortunate, but it wasn't quite fast enough. Taking out the first one. There's that poison spam I mentioned. Now, if you do get in a situation where both of them are on the screen at the same time, you do want to try as much as possible to keep them in front of you so you're not getting off-screen by attacks. The weapon swap is your opportunity to refill your FP. Many attacks you want to dodge more than once. Spam dodging is generally acceptable as long as you dodge the first one. Usually we'll dodge the second one with the spam. Headshots do slightly additional damage if you manage to hit them. But just like that, it looks like he got one final hit in on me somehow. I don't know how. Who knows? So, as you can see, as long as you keep your head and constantly move away from the gargoyles and keep them both in front of you, you can react to their attacks and shoot back as a spellcasting build. Now, as a melee build, that situation would have been an absolute disaster. I would have just left, started the fight over. Then again, I would not have done this fight at level 70 as a melee build. I would have come back at a much higher level. So, the weapons you get, the Gargoyle's Great Sword is second in quality, where are we at here? Only to the Iron Great Sword. This weapon is really, 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 really good for Great Sword users. Highly recommend that you use it. Comes with Vacuum Slice. You can swap it out for something else if you so choose. Very, very excellent weapon. The Twin Blade, not so much. Twin Blade users, I don't know what to tell you. Other than multi-hit builds, you guys are kind of out in left field with that stuff. And the Eleonora's Pole Blade is inarguably better than the Gargoyle's Twin Blade. So, it is what it is. Alright, Site of Grace. Now, this coffin over here will take you to Deep Root Depths. We are not going to be using it. However, if you do want to do a quick jaunt into Deep Root Depths, the place does have level 7 Somber Stones, which could be potentially extremely powerful if you are using a Somber weapon. So keep that in mind. You should be able to obtain at least one of those in Deep Root Depths without fighting anything. So, other than that, that is everything in Nokron and the the Hollow Horn grounds. I guess leave comments if you want about the gargoyle fight. It is definitely one of the most controversial subjects in the entire game. I know a lot of people really, really, really do not like this boss fight. So hopefully my strategy and my build helped you fight those guys. And next up, I guess we'll be doing the capital outskirts next, I believe. So that's up in Altus. We'll be taking the... Where is it? Not the abandoned coffin. Yes, the abandoned coffin, which should drop us right inside of the Altus Plateau. and we can go from there. So level 70, still rocking the same build as we have for since Celia Town of Sorcery. And my name has been Cowdog. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.